All right, hey everybody, welcome back to Ravens Escape Crafts. I'm Sue from Ravens Escape Crafts. And like I said, welcome, or welcome back to a very Ravens Escapey video. Ooh. I'm Sue, your host. If you've been here before, thanks for coming back. If you're new here, we talk about all kind of crafty stuff and life stuff and whatever. So I know it's been a minute. I did tell you guys that in my last video. I wasn't sure, and the weekend was just a lot, and I didn't get a video made. And then yesterday was a lot, and I didn't get a video made. So here it's Tuesday. I'm making a video. I hope you guys are doing good. I have a couple things to show you guys that are finishes. I want to finish some stuff up while I'm talking to you guys, and we'll just chat a little bit. So, and I do have a yarn haul coming. Hopefully, it should be here in the next couple of days. When I get the yarns, I'll make videos. I have 2 different shipments coming from Yarn Inspirations. So I'll probably open the first ones, do like record part of the video, and then record the second half of the video when I get the second box. But they are supposedly shipping all my stuff, so I will do yarn haul videos for those. I got a lot of new stuff for me. Not all of it's new stuff from Yarn Inspirations, but it's all new stuff for me. Well, not all of it. Not all of it. Some of it is restock stuff for me, but we'll go through it. I'll show you what I got. We'll talk about it a little bit. So, I'm sorry. I've had like this terrible headache all day, so I have these terrible bags in my eyes. So let's just ignore them, okay? We're just ignoring. So, as far as finished makes, things that I need to take pictures of and put up on my website, I finished these. So, I was telling you guys last time about how much I like these granny square yarn from Red Heart. I know, again, that not everybody likes it. It's not the super popular thing. A lot of people have trouble making their granny squares. I absolutely love the yarn. This is a color that I hadn't had before. So I had two balls of it. So I made all the granny squares, and now I'm making stuff out of them. So this is a belt bag for Ren Fair. Or whenever. I mean, you can use it for whatever. Or like festivals or stuff like that. It's perfect because you can put it on your belt. It's completely secure. But it has the opening at the top, so you can put your stuff in it. Now, it does have holes, so you wouldn't want to put anything too small in it. But, I mean, this is great for, like, your cell phone, your credit cards. You know, those kind of things will not fall out of here. Even, like, paper money. And the nice thing is, once you slip your belt through it, it cannot be removed. So, I like these for things like going to fairs, festivals. They work great for like Ren Fair and stuff like that. If you dress up for Ren Fair, because a lot of times you don't have pockets, these work absolutely great. Like I said, you can't put anything little in them. They're not really like a trinket bag, but they're great for that kind of stuff. So anything you wear belts, but you don't necessarily have pockets, this one works good. And then to go along with that, because I had 2 more squares, I made a drawstring bag. So again, the nice thing about the drawstring bag, this one has a round bottom. And then I just made it out of 2 granny squares. And then I put a drawstring top on it. So when you open it up, you can put a lot of stuff in there. Again, nothing too small because of the holes in the sides. You could line it. Or you could, put your pouches. This would be great for dice bags. This would be great for just whatever. And then I like the drawstring ones, because you can either put them on as a belt pouch. You can wear them on your belt, or you can wear them as a wristlet. Or you can just use these if you carry a big purse like I do. Put stuff in it. They're good to put some stuff that, or especially, I like to use them for things girls use that we don't necessarily want everybody to see. Throw that in there, close it up, throw it in your purse. These work for so many different things, so many multi-use, whatever. Or if you're packing for vacation, you can put your small toiletries in here. These work for so many different cool things. And like I said, it's simply I did a round circle. I just did a round single crochet circle. And then I attached both of the, just 2 of the granny squares from the Red Heart granny square yarn. And then I did 2 rows, I'll show it up close, 2 rows of single crochet. And then I did a row of double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet. And then I did 2 more rows of single crochet. But then this middle row has the spaces in it. And then when I'm done, I just, let me see if I can find the end. I bring the yarn down and I do a long chain and then I weave it in and out of the spaces. See? It's just weaved through. And then this creates the drawstring. And so the drawstring is completely attached to the bag. You know, so I think these are cool. I really like these. I'm gonna probably make some more of these kind of bags. So if you want, I could do a tutorial on it. When I get more yarn, I could make a tutorial. They're pretty easy. And these are just 2 granny squares sewed together all the way around, leaving the top open. And then I just did a row of double crochet, a row of single crochet, and then I just make these straps out of single crochet. I think they're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're 6 wide. So chain 7 and then just do 6 wide until, you know, skip the first, until you get them as long as you want. Make a second one, and then I just sew them on to the inside. And these work really well. I've had my husband test them out. He has some festival wear stuff that he can put them on. So those are 2 of my makes. 2 of my finishes. And oh, and I don't think I showed you guys this Muslim hat. It's supposed to be like a Muslim hat, but it was supposed to be a Muslim hat. Okay, I went by a Muslim hat tutorial, like a Muslim prayer hat, because somebody requested one, but it doesn't really look like one. It kind of just looks like a beanie. So I'm just gonna, the person that I made it for, well, and that didn't work out. So I think I'm just gonna sell it. I'm not gonna sell it as that. I'm gonna sell it as because it's just basically like an open beanie, an open weave beanie. See? It doesn't really look like I said, I used a tutorial for this one because I didn't know what a Muslim prayer hat was supposed to be, and I went through it was a Muslim that showed you how to do this, and I don't think it looks like a Muslim prayer hat, but that's okay. So I'm just gonna sell it like that, like as an open weave beanie. It'd be good for like now, like when it's just a little chilly, but you want something on your head, because it's got the open holes all over it. So I don't know. Maybe I'll try to make another one at some point, but we'll see. I'm not sure how that situation's gonna go. So yeah, so those are my finishes, and then I have 2 things almost done that I want to work on. So this I need to finish. This is another, I know I've shown you guys like a million of these witch hats, but they sell like pretty well, and people really like them because unlike the witch hats that you can buy for costumes, these are actual hats, so you can wash them and reuse them, and they don't only last for a few times. It's like a real freaking hat. And I love, this is that brushed yarn. I know that they're getting rid of it, but the Red Heart brushed. So it has that kind of, it gives it almost like a felt hat look. See, it's like a felted look, which I love without having to felt. Without having, it's talking hat. I don't know. I've just had a time. It has been a time. So I'm going to try to finish this while I talk to you guys. And I want to tell you guys a couple stories about my weekend and what's been going on and stuff like that. So, of course, the kids have been home. Let me get my embroidery needle. Sewing these ends. So, let's see. I forget what. I talked to you guys last week one day. I think it was last Tuesday. I think it's been almost a whole week since I talked to you guys. So nothing like super exciting happened this past week for us. The kids have been off since, they had 2 half days last week, Tuesday and Wednesday. Yeah. And then they were off Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So today's their last day off. And then tomorrow they go back to school, which they are not super excited about. Which I don't blame them, because we're getting further and further into the school year and it's getting to be, you know, a lot. And they're wearing down. I get it. I get it. And all their tests are coming up. I think Michael has to take AP tests for biology. No, not AP. Not AP. Keystone tests for biology. And then I know both of them are taking AP tests for, Logan's taking social studies and math. And I think Michael's just taking a math AP test. He's in 9th grade, so I mean, he shouldn't be taking AP tests yet at all. But, so we'll see how he does, and we'll see how Logan does. Hopefully he gets it. But you know, they're coming into test season, and then of course they have the PSSAs coming up, which you know, I don't blame them for not wanting to do those either. So, you know, we're heading into that season, and they just had, well, of course they both have colds, because 'tis the season for spring colds, right? And so they've been trying to get over those and feel better. And Logan had a gala the other week, and now they still have a concert coming up and stuff like that. So yeah, so there's a lot going on. And then what else? Let's see. I'm trying to think what else with school. And of course Logan's still taking tutoring, and they have plans for Mu Alpha Theta, which is their calculus club, and it's just a lot right now. So they've been dealing with all that. And then let's see, my husband's had a whole pile of dentist. He finally went to, well, his tooth broke a couple weeks ago, and it wasn't really his tooth. It was, he broke this tooth when he was 10, and he's 51 now. So yeah, so he's a few years older than that now. So he it's been repaired a couple times, and the last dentist he had repaired it not real well. It was terrible. He had a line and everything. I think I told you guys about this, but so he's been going. So of course he went to a new dentist. So, and it's been a couple of years since he's been to the dentist, because the last dentist they went to was terrible. You know, it was one of those, like, every time you went for stuff, they were like, oh, well, your insurance will pay for an hour and a half worth of work. We're going to do an hour and a half worth of work, you know. And it's like, well, do I need this? And they're like, oh, yeah, you know. But they were finding stuff, like finding stuff every time. And then stuff that wasn't a problem like, you know, he'd go in and then they'd be like, oh, yeah, looks good. And then 6 months later, oh, this is terrible, you know. So, yeah. And then, of course, at one point he was like, no, I don't really want to come back for, they wanted to do these deep cleanings. And not to say there's anything wrong with having deep cleanings done, but he was doing the deep cleanings and then they were finding more stuff. And he's like, you know what? I don't know. You know, and they wanted to replace all of his fillings. They said, oh, all your fillings are loose. And they wanted to replace them. And then he was like, I don't know. You know, I think I need a break. This has been a lot of dental work. And then they got really pissy with him. And then the one that really got us was they were telling us that my one son has had 0 problems with his teeth. And we had seen 2 other dentists. One when he was younger, and then he retired. And then we had switched to another dentist. And both of them said what wonderful teeth he had. And then we had to switch because the insurance wasn't getting taken by the second dentist anymore. And so we went to this dentist, and all of a sudden this dentist says, oh my goodness, he has like such bad teeth. He needs all this work done. There you go. Can you see my hat? All finished. There we go. You have to do a little bit of fussing with the brims, but they do stand up. There we go. So, yeah, so he was telling him like, oh, his teeth are so bad. Oh, he needs all this work done. We're going to get... It's like, wait, 2 other dentists told us that his teeth were good. You know, again, like, it's one thing to put yourself through, like, unnecessary dental work. It's a whole other thing when they want to do it to your kids. So that was when we stopped going to him. And, of course, like, the kids have this amazing other dentist now who we absolutely love. So, thank goodness. But now, my husband really likes this new dentist a lot. And, but like I said, it had been a few years since he had been to a dentist. So, there was some extra work that needed to get done. So, he's been getting that done. But he really likes this new dentist because he's like, he actually fell asleep when they fixed the tooth and were doing some of the deep cleaning. He actually fell asleep in the chair because he was that... He was like, it didn't hurt at all, and I was tired, and he's like, I took a nap. So that's saying something, you know, if you can actually fall asleep at the dentist. I mean, that's really saying something. So, I don't know. I don't want to push this up, but here we go. There we go. I just don't like I know on camera it just doesn't look great with the, you know, it's hillbilly wizard hat. Yeah, so, and then Saturday we went to my husband's cousin's house for, Easter. Normally his aunt hosts, but his cousin, they were the ones that got married in November, and they wanted to host this year, so we went over to their house. It was nice. Everybody was, you know, it was small. I mean, it wasn't a big family, like we don't have a huge family. So it was just my husband's side of the family, and, some of them, not all of them live around here. But the ones that everybody that lives around here came, and we had a nice time, had some food and some chit chats, and met their kitty cats, and, not that their kitty cats were happy that we were there. Are they ever, you know? I mean, we have 3 cats now. One will come out and she wants to you better pay attention to her. The other 2 are like, are there people here? Are there people here? So we did that on Saturday. So of course that was a big endeavor for me going out because all the pain I'm in all this stupid time. So I was in a lot of pain Saturday night. A lot of pain Saturday night. Ugh. It just sucks. It just sucks. My feet. Ugh. I wish I could get somebody to figure out what the heck's going on. Because again, we're at the point like where it's like I had shoes on and my feet got warm because I had shoes on because it was kind of warm in their place. Because like it's not really warm enough that most people have the air on. I mean, I have my air on because I'm hot, but it really wasn't warm enough to have the air on. But it got hot in their basement where we were all at. So my feet got hot, and as soon as my feet get a little bit warm, they start burning like there's fire on the inside. Ugh. It's so painful. It's so painful. I mean, they hurt all the time but then when they get a little bit warm, it is so painful. So this is why I don't go out very much or do anything. You know, it's just not worth it to be in so much pain for hours and hours and hours afterward. But that's okay. We had family Easter, and then Sunday, of course, because we were doing Easter, we did Easter on Saturday, so we had all the ham and sweet potatoes and all that jazz on Saturday. We asked the kids, like, do you want to do it again on Sunday? And they were like, could we just do like a picnic? So that's what we did. We had like we had ribs, we had burgers, we had macaroni potato salad and fruit. I had cut up a fresh fruit salad. So, oh my God, it was so good. It was just nice. Sunday, it was kind of crummy outside. So we spent the day, the four of us sat here, watched movies, like older movies, and just laughed and had fun. And it was really nice. It was so nice. What did we watch? We watched Fifth Element. Oh, and Mortal Instruments, City of Bones. I wanted them to see that. It was like, I figured that's, they're 14, 15. That's like a teen movie. And it's kind of right up their alley with all the magic and stuff like that. And I like that movie. So I got them to watch that. And then they wanted to watch Fifth Element because we talk about it all the time. And they've never actually seen it. So now they get where we come up with, again, they're like, oh, that's where that comes from, phrases we say. Yeah. That's a big movie for us. So they really enjoyed it. And like I said, then we had dinner and we had brownies for dessert. It was just a nice day. Easter was nice. We didn't do anything crazy or anything. We just had a nice day. So what did you guys do do you guys celebrate Easter? If you do, did you have a nice Easter? I was talking to my aide, and we were talking about how, like, it's so different now with, like, the holidays and stuff, especially, like, Easter. Like, it was always a big, like, when I was a kid, it was, like, this big dress-up holiday. Everybody got dressed up, and like, it was a big family event, and now it's more like, oh, are we getting together on Easter? You know what I mean? Like, it was like, oh, it was so exciting. And, like, everybody got their spring outfits out. Everybody dressed up. And my family had a big thing. My husband's family had a big thing. And we all went to stuff. And now, not so much. I don't know. I mean, and then, oh, hold on. Okay, so then, so we're going to get back to Easter, but I was going to tell you the little story about yesterday. So then yesterday, my aide came, and she was violently ill. This is the second time, and she was violently ill. Now, it's not contagious or anything. She has some health issues that I will never disclose on here, but she has some health issues, and it's making her violently ill. Now, luckily, last time she went to the emergency room, but she didn't want to stay, so she left. She ended up leaving. well, this time she got admitted to the hospital. So I'm hoping she's getting some help that she desperately needs, because something is not working and she should not be this desperately ill the way she was. I again, this is the second time I really thought I was going to have to call an ambulance for her. She insisted no ambulance, but her mother did come and pick her up both times. So she did have a secure person to go with that I had faith was in her best interest. And I said the agency did call me this morning and let me know she is in the hospital, so they don't know when she'll be back. So I probably tomorrow, which is why I'm making the video today, I'm going to end up with a different aid, which is always, it's always weird letting somebody in your house you don't know. Do you know what I'm saying? And having to spend 6 hours with them, and so we'll see. We'll see tomorrow. I'll let you guys know in the next video. Like I said, I should be getting a yarn haul one of these days, so we'll make that video as soon as I get the stuff. It's my yarn inspirations order. So the other thing I've been working on is, with those same squares, I am finishing up a scarf. So this is kind of a funky scarf. I am doing the border on it right now. It is those same granny squares plus another kind of granny square. And the scarf is going to be this big wide scarf. And it's going to be just like this. It's going to be, it's hard to show. Like this. So it's funky. I thought it was kind of different. It's neat. The border is going to make it a lot less floppy. So I'm working on the border right now. Thought we could work on that a little while I keep chit-chatting with you guys about stuff. But it's a scarf, so it's unruly. All right. I found the end. All right. Of my yarn. So I'm just doing a single crochet around it to give it some structure. And then we're going to give it another round to make it look cool. So, yeah, so for Easter, the one thing I was telling my husband about, I felt so bad for some of the places around here. They, like the one local drive-in, we actually have like the oldest drive-in in the country. I think it's in the world. In our area, it's called Shankweiler's Drive-In. You can Google it. And it's a really cool story. Let's get into some story time. Settle in, get your crochet or whatever, or your whatever you want, and just a beverage if you're like, and settle in for a little bit of story time. So Shankweiler's is a drive-in around here. We used to have a lot of drive-ins around here when I was a kid, and most of them have gone away, like a lot of drive-ins across the world and country and all that jazz. But Shankweiler's was still there. It had closed, I don't know the history completely, but it closed a number of years ago. And it was still sitting there. The basic, the basics were still there. It hadn't been closed a super long time. And the people that owned it were trying to not sell it to developers, because that's where a lot of these places have gone, is to developers. And the couple that owned it was an elderly couple, and they just couldn't run it anymore, which is why they closed it. It wasn't that it was doing super poorly, it was that they just couldn't do it. It's a lot of work to run a drive-in, and and they weren't making a ton of money on it, but because they were running like they weren't doing first runs of movies, you know what I'm saying? And in this day and age, that's a hard thing to do. It's not like it was years ago where, I'm sure a lot of you guys that are watching probably remember, but if you're younger, it used to be that a movie came out in the theater and then it ran for however long, depending how popular it was. And then once it wasn't popular anymore, it got out of the main theaters, and then there was like, I called them like second theaters, where you could go watch them for cheaper. And then there was even like third run theaters where it was like $1 to go. And then like they always had like cheap soda and popcorn. But the difference is that before, at that time, you know, a movie would take at least a year or close to a year between when it hit the theater and when it came out on VHS to rent or buy. So if you didn't see it in the theater, you were going to have to wait almost an entire year or better part of a year before it came out for you to even go rent it. And then again, if you wanted to wait for it to come out on TV, you were talking 2-3 years, you know, before you'd ever be able to see it again. So there was, Shankwellers used to run a lot of like seconds, like, so they didn't run the movies when they were super popular, because it was a lot cheaper for them to get the movies as a second as opposed to as a first, because it's very expensive to get it as a first run. So, like I said, as this started happening, of course, people went to the drive-in less and less, and their business wasn't as great. And like I said, and the couple was elderly that owned it. So they closed it, but they didn't really want to sell it to developers. And that's exactly who was trying to buy it, was only developers. Well, luckily they waited. Luckily they were able to wait. They were able to financially wait. And they got a couple ended up purchasing it who is in their 30s. And which is the perfect age to be able to do all the stuff involved, you know, and they're young enough that they're still, you know, excited about things and the future and stuff like that. So this really super nice younger couple, they worked hard to get the money together and purchase this theater, this drive-in theater. And I am telling you, the work they have put into rejuvenating this theater is, I give them all the props in the entire world. I give them so many props. They have put time and effort and money into this theater, this drive-in movie theater. In fact, I mean, they have been, you know, they have said publicly, you know, they've worked other jobs to pay bills, to be able to put most of the money they're making back into making the drive-in theater better, to repairs and things that need to get done, and then just overall making it better. They've also been, they run the theater 24/7, oh, not 24/7, 12 months out of the year, which of course typically drive-ins close over the winter, where they don't. They also run all kind of events at the theater. So like they do craft shows, they do car meetups, they do they do like themed stuff like horror movies, especially if there's like a newer horror movie, or they host, I forget what it's called around here, the something horror fanatics. There's a club, and then they do like a weekend that they sponsor a weekend, and then they do like all old horror movies that weekend, and then people come and they bring their memorabilia and they bring their stuff, and they play old horror movies. It's really inspiring to see. I absolutely love it. I'm a huge fan. I love when people take old stuff and rejuvenate it and make it fun again, and bring, you know, keep things, for as much as I absolutely love future and I love innovation and I'm a huge tech nerd. You know, like I said before, I mean, I've always been one. I like the new latest greatest technology. I'm not anti-technology in any way, shape, or form. But I also think that we need to, I'm also a huge history buff. So anytime we can take something old like that and not discard it and make it work in the future, be still my beating, a history loving heart, you know? So I have the utmost respect for these people that run this drive-in theater. I follow their Facebook page and have, been supportive of them since they purchased it. So, getting to my Easter story, I feel so bad for them because they had to put a post up yesterday that they felt so bad because over the weekend on Saturday night, they had planned an Easter egg hunt. Now, I guess they did it last year and people really enjoyed it. Well, so this year they plan on doing it bigger, better, you try one year, it works. Now, obviously, you're going to improve upon it. So last year it was such a hit that this year they got like 3,000 eggs, like the plastic eggs, and she got all kind of movie themed toys and candy and stuff like that. The girl that owns it, and she bought all this stuff, and it took them months of planning and buying and filling these eggs and getting ready. And then they, of course, planned the event. They had announced the event on their socials, and of course you needed a ticket to be there, a ticket to get into the movie. And then they were going to do an egg hunt like by age group. So they were going to have, I think, 3 or 4 different age group section, and they have them sectioned off, and they were going to do different times for different age groups so that everybody could participate. Whole thing was set up perfect, or what they thought. So I guess here, not only did they have a ton of trouble because it sold out, the tickets sold out, and then people were emailing them and calling and getting nasty that they needed to come, and they want, well, why couldn't they get them in, and absolutely being horrendous to their employees and themselves, that they were threatening them and things like that, sending threatening emails. But then, to make matters worse, when they opened the gates, they had people trying to sneak in, using, saying that their ticket wasn't working, using expired tickets from other times and dates. And when the employees were calling them out on it, they were getting nasty with the people, and, as they called it, absolutely abusive to their employees. So that upset them. And then they made the announcement that it was time for the egg hunt and that people should start coming over. And they were worried that some people hadn't heard. So she went up on the hill and used her bullhorn and did the siren thing. Well, some of these kids and parents, I guess, thought that that was the siren to start getting eggs. So all these kids and adults, they said there was a huge amount of adults came running to go collect eggs, and in less than 45 seconds had picked up all 3,000 eggs. Which of course meant that, and she of course said she was yelling for them to stop, but nobody listened. So of course the part that they felt so bad about was this was like 10 to 15 minutes before the actual egg hunt was supposed to start. So anybody who was like listening and being respectful was either not even over there yet or waiting for, waited while these other people went and adults and kids went and got all these eggs. So now, of course, the girl who is, like I said, it's a husband and wife that run the thing. Her husband wrote the thing up on Facebook yesterday, and you could tell he was upset. And he said, his wife was very upset. I'm sure, I bet you she cried. I mean, because then they had all these families, the ones that were respectful, that didn't get any eggs, their kids, and they felt bad. So they were trying to find stuff for the kids, but of course it's not the same. Now, they did say that the families who didn't get anything were very understanding and were trying to make them feel better because they understood, and that they would talk to their kids and make them understand what happened. But, that sucks but they said they felt just so bad for these kids who were being respectful and being decent, and now they're the ones that didn't get eggs. Because they said, like, some of the families that were involved in the initial egg hunt came over and gave eggs to other kids, but not most of them did not. And even still, being kind after the fact is a little, you know what I'm saying? So, and then of course, I didn't realize I had seen that something happened at another local egg hunt around here. And apparently there was not only one, but like several other egg hunts went the same way, where like people just went when they weren't supposed to. It was utter chaos. Adults were taking eggs for their kids and stuff like that. And I know there was a big one last year, not too far from here, in that had been I don't know, years and years and years long tradition. I'm going to say probably like 60 years long tradition. And they are not doing it anymore because of what happened last year. And now, of course, the drive-in is saying, well, we're never going to do this again because what happened this year, we're not doing that ever again. And I don't blame them. Do you blame them? I mean, no, that's ridiculous. And then I'm like reading the comments, and there's like all these other places around here that had super similar stuff happen where, where I'm just like, oh my goodness. Like, but then I was talking to my kids, and they're like, well, we only went to egg hunts when we were little. And I said, you know what? Now that I'm like sitting here talking to you guys, I'm like, the reason that we stopped going was, so we took them a number of years. There was one, we were members of a private club that my dad worked at and I worked at for 20 some years. And my dad worked there for 50 some years. They always did a private egg hunt. So you had to be a member of the club to be part of the egg hunt. But still, everybody and their brother came out and brought their kids, grandkids, whatever. And then we took them a few times to local egg hunts that they had in the area. And every time it was like, something happened. And in fact, the one time we had, I think Michael was 1 and Logan was 2, or Michael was 2 and Logan was 3, probably closer to that one. So they were little. And so, of course, they were in the first division with all the toddlers and stuff like that. And we're like, okay, when they do the thing, just go, pick up what you can. It's, da-da-da-da. Meanwhile, these other parents are like, oh, go, da-da-da-da. And I'm like, oh, I'm not like that. So we're standing there waiting, like they had like a rope off thing and they wanted everybody to get ready to go. So we're like, of course we were right there. So we walked up to the rope And this lady, this adult, pushes my kids over so that her kid can stand in front of my kids. I'm like, it is a freaking Easter egg hunt, lady. There's not gold in these eggs. Most of them are just hard-boiled eggs, for goodness sake. You know, and this was before the great egg shortage and all that jazz. Like, these are literally, like, most of them are colored eggs. And they had, like, a couple of golden eggs strewn through. Okay, and now keep in mind, this is a private club. So, you either got hard-boiled eggs, and then when you were done with the egg hunt, every single kid would go in, and they would, if they got a golden egg, they could turn it in. If not, every kid who participated got a chocolate bunny, like a big chocolate bunny, and I think a coloring book and something else. And then they got like some candy and stuff. They gave them like a lot of stuff. And then if you had a golden egg, you got a bigger chocolate bunny. But you still got all the other stuff. So like your kid, literally the only difference was if they found a chocolate or a golden egg, they got more chocolate. So I don't understand what the competitive ridiculousness was to get hard-boiled eggs or a little bit more chocolate, you know. And I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I don't know. And they pushed my kids, the adult, not the kids, the grown-up shoved my kids so that one fell and the other one fell into the other one to get some hard-boiled eggs. And we went to, and like I said, not that that was the last year we went because I wanted them to have that experience, but later on, they were a little bit older. I'm going to say like maybe 6 or 7. Oh, I just said that. Oh my goodness. 6, 7. Maybe a little bit older, probably around 6 or 7. We went to another egg hunt, and it was like, again, like these kids were pushing, shoving, ripping baskets out of the other kids' hands. The adults were out there with them, where like, I mean, for me, like every egg hunt I ever went to, you just stood on the side. I mean, maybe if your kid was like really young, like they were just walking, maybe they were 1, or you would walk with their hand. But again, you weren't like picking all the eggs up for them. Or again, like these parents were like pushing and shoving, screaming at their kids, get another, or like running with them and grabbing eggs and giving them to their kids. And I'm like, it's not a competition, A, and like B, it's like some eggs with some little bit of candy in it. It's supposed to be fun, not like a reward, you know. I just didn't understand it. You know, I did not understand. And of course, the other part was like, you know, a lot of these are held by nonprofit organizations and stuff. So, of course, a lot of them, to like recoup the money they spend to do the egg hunt, they have like 50-50 raffles, or they do baskets where you buy raffle tickets, or they sell food. So whenever I go to an event like that, I feel like, well, I'm going to buy something because, like, I mean, you're putting this on for free. I'm not destitute to the point where I need my kids to get free stuff or they don't have an Easter. So, I mean, and if that's the case, then that's different. But I'm willing to bet 99.9% of the people there are not in that situation. So I always buy stuff, like whether it's raffle tickets or we buy food or things like that. I feel like you're nice enough to do this nice thing for my kids, I'm going to at least make an attempt to give back. You know what I mean? So I always make sure we like purchase something to, but like these people just want everything for free. The amount of people just would like, oh, no, we're not buying anything. We're not buying anything. We're just here for the free stuff. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to rant, but I feel bad. So in the end, we ended up stopping taking the kids to egg hunts because, you know, I felt a little bad that they didn't get to go. But like I said to my husband, and we talked, and we were like, look, you know, we spent a lot of time, a lot of effort teaching our kids to be respectful and teaching our kids how to act properly. And, you know, these are things that are benefiting them now that they're in high school and stuff. Because let me tell you, like, maybe not so much with the other kids, but their teachers, they have a great relationship with almost all of their teachers because of it. Because they're respectful. They know how to talk to grown-ups. They know how to act around other people. Their teachers absolutely love them. And, you know, they get so much more interaction with the people that can help them on their path because they are respectful and they, you know, they want to learn and stuff like that. So, you know, and we looked at each other and I said, like, the year after that one, we were talking about going to an egg hunt, and I'm like, you know, we're teaching them all this respect. We're teaching them how to be respectful to other kids, to be respectful to other grown-ups. And then we take them to stuff like this, and they see these people acting, especially the adults. I mean, the kids, I can give somewhat of a pass to. You know, the kids are only, and some kids are, you know, especially kids that have things like autism and stuff like that, they may, you know, they may not be able to understand how to act properly. You know, they get very excited and it's one-track mind, and they may not understand that they're being overly ambitious. You know what I mean? So I don't blame the kids. But the parents. I'm like, how are we supposed to double down on our kids that you need to act a certain way when they're watching adults act a different way than everything we've taught them? So we chose to not take them to any more egg hunts, and we always did an egg hunt in the house, and then we also did an egg hunt when they were younger at his aunt's house outside. So it's not like they didn't get any egg hunts. I mean, after they went to bed at night, every year we used to hide eggs all over the house. The fake ones. And then in the morning, one of us would get up early. We'd try to get up before the kids, and then we'd hide the real ones that they colored all over the house too. But we only did that like and then we'd go up and knock on their door. And like, I think the Easter Bunny was here. So those were not out of the fridge very long. But, and of course we always did a count on those at the end to make sure we got them all. But, yeah, and then we always had one over, like his grandmother used to do one when she was alive. And then his aunt did one for years and years and years out in her yard. So, you know, it's not that they didn't get to hunt Easter eggs, and I didn't feel so bad. But I'm like, we can't go to these public things with people acting like this. I can't teach my kids one way and then have everybody wreck it, you know, when they still don't understand. You know, now they're older and they understand. Some people are just, yeah. But, you know, so, yes, that's my Easter egg rant. I didn't mean to go on a huge rant. But, yeah, so. All right, it's been almost an hour. I'm going to let you guys go. I thank you so much for joining me. And like I said, I will be back with a Yarn Inspirations haul. Hopefully by the end of the week. But if not, maybe weekend. I don't know. I don't know that we have any plans this weekend. If it's nice, I really need to work on my backyard, but we'll see. So, thank you all for joining me. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for spending time with me. It means more than you know. And like I always say, choose love every day. Bye, everybody.